Just answering a question with WAPTech, or an assertion. Now, this is a multiple take day because of all sorts of crap. Let's get this to one take. I'm not reading it in the order you posted it. Follow myself and John Cullen on Twitter for facts. Thank you. Got it? All you inexperienced, no-cop smartasses. Okay, I'm a Lead Vegas investigator, Bartman Marine. Look me up. Now, those are the non-important subjects. I'm hitting enter a couple of times. Assertions that are on topic. That actually have to do with the video. That I'm double Shatnering. The spilled box of shells aren't shells. They're, read below, bullet cartridge brass, already fired. Okay, and the next thing, someone named Nepolis, I'm mispronouncing this on purpose. I have been. Information shared has been very instrumental in our progress. Follow myself and John Cullen on Twitter for facts. Thank you. Got it? Okay, and I'm done tweaking your nose. The subject matter of the videos concerning a YouTube channel calling itself Mr. Nepolis is that it probably isn't him because it's behaving in a classic manner of a person trying to make Mr. Nepolis look like an idiot. Or the other alternative is Nepolis is a person whose first line of questioning and commentary is to call me a 90-year-old looking man and comment on all sorts of random shit. If your first thing to do is to troll somebody and stay off topic as much as possible, and then claim to be triggered, you are a troll. And whether it's instrumental in your progress for whatever you want to achieve, that's fine. I have no problem with that. For the actual person in the video, on the John Goodman video, which is what we're supposed to be talking about. In the video, the guy does not specify a time, which is wrong, it's a bad thing. But in the article, which is all I reviewed in the first place, a time was specified. Okay, the time is wrong. We'll do that. We'll go with that. Sure. What is he saying? In essence, a parking lot that could not be used as a location to shoot any of the people who were shot in the initial firing or even subsequent shots, because it literally cannot line up with anybody who was shot, is a place he found brass shell casings in a city called Las Vegas, Nevada. There are brass shell casings 40 feet from me in this parking lot. It's a longer distance. It's a shittier angle. And it has just as much likelihood. No, actually, somebody could have fired way up in the air, 45-degree angle or so, and landed bullets right into people's heads, which would be easier than shooting from a helicopter. Yes or no? Make a video, Bartman Marine, etc. ad nauseum, saying to John Cullen and everybody else who likes him that it's more likely to shoot up in the air from that parking lot and hit somebody than to shoot from a helicopter, which is much more difficult and is implausible and impractical. I dare you. Alright? So the got it? And follow me on John Cullen and Twitter. Okay, let's get on with this. The person in the video, John Goodman, has not been instrumental in anybody's progress because all he did is introduce a what-if scenario to exonerate Paddock, in effect. That's a mean assertion on my part. Let's make it more generous. He pointed out that he found something that might be brass shell casings in a parking lot. And at best, it would be the last place on earth someone would shoot from. What about just throwing out the shell casings after collecting them from someplace? Brass catcher is something you put onto a gun that catches the brass so that it's not left behind. Either you're being environmentally sensitive or you're preventing people from finding evidence. So within a mile, I mean, we're talking across the street, of the shooting kill zone, you throw evidence on the ground after deliberately trying to make sure you didn't drop it anywhere. Second idea, let's push this to 11. You're in a helicopter hovering above that spot, and you're shooting into the crowd. His claim was that it wasn't in a pile, it was kind of spread out a bit. Now, his gesticulation, that's an actual word, and all the other stuff says it was probably within an area of a parking spot. Okay, so helicopter drop it? A helicopter at that position would be a really shit show location to fire from, and it would probably spread out more than that. Next, the only place I found that shows a proof of life video, very unrelated to the Vegas shooting, is on a Facebook page that I went ahead and I loaded up a copy of Facebook on my computer. You better say thank you. I actually lowered myself using Facebook long enough to do this. God-awful interface. I went through the postings from just before and just after Las Vegas happened on the page that's supposed to be this guy, and actually shows a video of him, and it looks like him. And the only mention that could possibly be associated with Vegas is talking about people watching an inspirational video. The rest of it's about him promoting the fact that he was a football player or in the military, or him having empathy for the military. No mentions of Vegas anywhere. I really was trying to find them. But okay, let's say he deleted them. Let's say it was an emotional thing he didn't want to talk about. Weeks after the fact, instead of going back as soon as possible to see if he could find those shell casings, because they were obviously important, otherwise he wouldn't have contacted John Goodman. Or not John Goodman, is it actually Goodman? Crowdsource the Truthiness? I'm sorry, I'm getting confused with that other guy. Anyway, weeks later, he shows up and points to the spot that's useless for shooting from. Probably isn't a place someone would dump out brass they were trying to hide, and just introduces another what if, let's doubt the Thomas kind of thing. Okay, this is instrumental in your progress and has been very useful. Useless location to shoot from, probably couldn't be a helicopter, and seems dumb to collect brass and dump it there. Now, why would a person dump out brass out of their car in a parking lot in Las Vegas before a shooting? Because the shooting wasn't something anybody was interested in. Somebody cleaning out their car real quick, or kicking out some, maybe spilling it from an ashtray, or literally a box of spent shells they'd collected for some other purpose. Or maybe they weren't shell casings at all. Maybe they were literally blanks that are used to drive cement into a wall. So, the assertion you made, the spilled box of shells, I made a reference in the video underneath it as well, that someone pointed out at one time or another that there's a video someplace, this is very vague, that a cop can be heard on body cam or something saying something along the lines of, I dumped out some shells by accident and wasn't about to pick them up. Cartridges is the preferred term for unfired .223 or whatever bullets, or cartridges. You don't call them bullets. The bullet's the thing on the end. People get really annoyed about this, but the terminology people use for spent shells is shells. Spilled box of shells, or I spilled some shells. Bullet cartridge, brass, already fired, is the assertion. I understand that. Now, the corroborating data that's been brought up, because I asked for it, was a person on recording definitively walking up, identifying something as a brass shell casing to a cop on a body cam. That one actually exists. And the other one that's really, really good is some lady being interviewed after the fact at some location. Do you really want me to look up where she was when this happened and see if it has any validity? Because the audio is horrible. It's almost unintelligible. But okay, I'm going to take everybody at their word and say that she saw something. That's great. We're not discussing them. We're not even discussing corroborating this guy. I'm not. Not the guy in the Goodwin or crowdsourced the truth in this video, where he didn't probe anything and ask him, why didn't you go back and pick up the shells? Why didn't you just go back with the cell phone camera and take pictures? My contention is that the YouTube channel making these claims that you are actually backing up by accident is from a channel that refuses to confirm it's the same person, period, full stop. Why is this something you don't want to question? I'm sure this person's done lots of interviews. I'm not talking about that. The video I did was the first posting, without redaction, without the person changing their story later. The first thing out of a person's mouth as soon after as possible, which was still weeks later, where a person claimed a physical location for the shooting, or for finding shell casings, excuse me. And yes, did not specify a time, but I was dealing with what I could archive, which is the written up statement done by the person doing the interview, who made the assertion that it was hours later that he saw these. Okay, let's review one more fucking time. What was I criticized about on my video by this YouTube channel claiming to be the source of this information, who won't corroborate it at all? My assertion in the video is that I was criticizing Jason Goodman about his crowdsource the truthiness, not probing more to find out why a person wouldn't go back and pick up evidence, why they didn't document it, and why they spent so much time not bringing it up. And my new questions are, why is the Facebook page not indicating anything about this at all, except being a fan of Jason Goodman, or Goodwin, or Goodrich? I'm getting tired of this meme. So, got it? Follow me on the YouTube channel. My question to you: are you asserting that this YouTube channel can't be an impersonator? To a person who's been impersonated literally 300 times at one point. I mean, really, seriously, fucking answer that question. Nobody could do that. Okay, then why isn't his Facebook page saying, hey, this is my YouTube channel? Hey, here's my proof of life video on the YouTube channel. Maybe that's not his Facebook page. Maybe someone faked that one too. I got someone showing up on my channel trolling and screaming libtard and saying I'm a 90-year-old looking man, which is irrelevant, but none of that has anything to do with being credible. And the original interview showed a location that's worthless. I concentrated on Goodwin, or Goodwrench, crowdsource the truthiness, not doing a good job being a journalist. Wasn't about this guy. It's about the assertion there were shell casings there, and the reporting that did nothing to prove it. And as for the source person, Napolis, I've been told to pronounce his name by that YouTube channel in a way that doesn't match how it's pronounced on the Facebook video where he's saying his own name. Is your assertion that this Facebook video that shows the pronunciation, because the person's saying his own name, versus a YouTube channel that posts a phonetic type-up that's the wrong pronunciation for this person, isn't a reason that I should maybe question whether this is the right guy? I dare you to put up an anti-Cullen video pointing out that shooting from is it Cullen? I get these guys mixed up because you all use different names. Shooting from a helicopter is shit. Shooting from that parking lot is slightly less shitty as far as being able to work. Shooting from the Mandalay Bay is much better and much easier than literally anywhere else, just about. Not exclusively, but just about. What is your assertion? Somebody collected brass and dumped it right near the shooting site? It was done from a helicopter, which is dumb. Levitating? I should do that video of the guy levitating above the... but anyway, I just can't. Maybe I'll do it later. That would be fun compared to this shit. Got it. Follow myself, John Cullen, on Twitter, or John Cullen on Twitter. No. My contention is that the YouTube channel is probably phony. And I don't buy the guy's story even in the video because there's not enough data. And if we use the Facebook page as any indication, I don't think he was there in the town. I don't know. you correct me in the comment below. Me.